G'day team, it's Kris speaking. Welcome or welcome back. Today I want to talk a little bit about post-op depression in light of the video that I released a little while ago. That was my 1 year post-op top surgery video. So the reason I want to talk about post-op depression is because it is a very real thing that happens to a lot of people, particularly people that go through top surgery in my experience, but basically anyone who's gone through any sort of surgery can experience post-operation depression. So what happened for me, and I was quite down for the first, week or two after top surgery, and it came down to two different things. It came down to the look and the feel of my chest, and also the emotions behind going through top surgery and getting to that point. I'll start with the emotions because that's, a little bit easier for me to explain, in that I wasn't excited for top surgery. And if you remember, just before top surgery, I did put a video up that explained that I wasn't excited about top surgery, and it's okay not to be excited about things in your transition. For me, it was more something in my brain. It was something along the lines of I needed to do it. So I needed to do it for myself, but it wasn't something that I was necessarily excited for. I got excited and nervous on the day of, and then sort of going home after surgery, but I wasn't necessarily excited for the surgery itself. And leading up into that point, it wasn't something that I was like, whee, top surgery. And that may have, everyone has their own reasons, but I was 28, or just before I turned 28 to get top surgery, or 29. How old am I? It was May last year, so I would have been 28 turning 29. There you go. And just being a little bit older when going to get it done, but for some reason it wasn't exciting to me. So when I came home, I think that I assumed that after top surgery I would be super excited about it, to have the chest that I envisioned myself having, the chest that I wanted, and I was excited for the day. Like I got giddy about seeing it for the first time and whatever, but it wasn't something that I was sort of over the moon for, and I wasn't super excited about it, and I didn't have to show everyone then and there. I sent some photos out to people just to be like, hey, this is my chest now, it's pretty cool. But it wasn't that feeling of excitement that I've seen other people have, or I've heard about other people having, and I was like, is something wrong with me? I did want the surgery, and I'm very glad that I've had it, but I'm not like over the moon excited, mad keen to whip my top off and whatever. Now, don't get me wrong, I still do not take for granted putting a shirt on my back and feeling material against my skin. That is still something that I'm very thankful for every day. I have the ability to go outside without a shirt on and not worry about what the public think. And that, I don't take that for granted anymore. I don't really do it because I still feel weird about it. I think, because it was 28 years before I had top surgery, so I'm still a little bit worried that people are going to clock me. But at the same time, if I ever do go outside without a shirt on, it's like, no one's going to look, no one cares, and that's amazing. But sometimes it's a little bit of a mind game for me personally to do that in a place where other people can see me, like the beach. It was a good day when I went to the beach without a shirt on, but also a weird day. My brain was very much thinking about old connotations about taking the shirt off at the beach. In terms of the look, if you did watch my 1 year post-op video, you would have seen the bits of my chest that I'm not super comfortable with still, and that was a big thing for me when I first came home from top surgery and I first saw my chest, and that is that I had quite a bit of bunching underneath one of the nipples, and that sort of gets massaged out, and if you stand up straight it goes away on its own, or some people need revision surgery. So I got a little bit down that they didn't look exactly the way that I thought they would look. I envisioned my nipples to be a little bit smaller. I had quite big nipples going into surgery, and I was hoping that they could make them a little bit smaller, but the surgeon said that she couldn't, and the surgeon was stoked with how they turned out. So I was like, oh, they probably really good nipples. I just saw them a little bit differently in my head, which I think is a trap that a lot of people who go through top surgery or any sort of surgery, envision. They envision what it's going to look like. If it doesn't match exactly, that can cause a little bit of post-op depression. The other thing was this little pocket that I have here on the pec. It sticks out a little bit, and if you saw that video, you'll see it. Now, I've seen horror stories about dog ears, and it's not so much a dog ear to my knowledge anyway. I think they sort of sit back a little bit, and it's like a fat pocket that hangs down here, which you can get removed. But for me, it's very much a pec muscle, and it's that sculpted bit there, but because it sticks out from where it was, in my brain, that was like, well, they didn't get that bit. You've still got the B word. That's not chest. And that played on my mind for a long time, and honestly sometimes it still does, but I'm able to see it for muscle now because I've worked up that part of my chest to the point where they do look like pecs if I'm just sort of shirtless and on the side, which you would have seen in that video. But I guess what I'm getting at is be wary that post-op depression can happen. It can hit from multiple different angles, whether it be the emotion side of it or whether it be the actual aesthetic side of it. It's all good. If it happens, it's pretty normal. If you need to talk about it, then by all means do so. I know that I was still in gender therapy leading up to the surgery, so I was talking about it with my surgeon, and I ended gender therapy towards the end of that year, towards the end of 2020. Yeah, so I haven't been seeing her for about 8 months now, 6 to 8 months. But yeah, it's completely normal. Anyway, that's it from me. A bit of a ramble about post-op depression that happened for me. If it happens for you, just remember it's normal. Reach out and speak to someone. Like I said all the time, my Instagram is always open. If you want to have a chat about it, then by all means. Anyway, if you like the content, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more of it, click on my face, which will be somewhere down on screen, probably down on, this side. And I will catch you next time. Okay, bye.